Good morning, ladies. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for joining us. Wilma, hello. Laura, Giselle, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Mary Lynn is coming on.
Wonderful. Hey, Mary Lynn.
Oops.
Oh, great. Amy's here.
Amy, okay.
Hey, Giselle.
Hi, Jamie. Hi, Leah.
Hi.
Hello. Good
Oh, hi,
morning.
everybody.
Amy,
Laura.
welcome.
Wilma, hi. Hi, Michelle and Giselle. Hi, Amy. Okay.
All right. So be sure to use the chat a lot, ladies. We love the chat. We'll both be monitoring that. So be sure to use that. And we'll get started here as people are coming on. So we like to start each week by just celebrating a win. So just make it something short. Like, for me, I got plenty of sleep and I feel good today. So that's my win. Yay. Jamie, what's your win?
My win is that I wanted to take voice acting classes. I signed up, even though I wasn't sure how I was going to pay for it. And I manifested a way to do that. So,
yay, that's big.
yeah.
We love manifestation.
Yes.
Wilma, what is your win?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
My win is that I got my hubby to sit in the chair to do the Reiki session.
Yay, I love that so much.
That's good.
Michelle, do you have a win you'd like to share with us?
Sure. I'm going on a trip in a week and I got everything I needed to get done. So I don't have any last minute deadlines.
Oh my gosh, that's huge. We all know how that feels. So
Now, are you gonna be in Florida at the Wild?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I wanted to go and I'm going to Gainesville, but I'm visiting my family and it got really complicated. So I didn't sign up. But if something changes and I can get there last minute, I will.
Oh God, yes, please do.
If I wish. Anyway, you know how it is with family. It gets complicated.
I do. Okay. No worries.
Yep.
We go there every year and I might even go there in the fall. So
Oh,
we have
really?
that too. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'll be tuned. Stay tuned.
Okay, good deal. Laura, what is your win?
I finished my Reiki homework.
Yay, that's a huge win. Thank you. Giselle, what's your win?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I don't speak so much English, but I understand. I think my winner will be here now. Start
Yay!
with the
Yes.
Fantastic. Welcome. We're so glad you're here, Giselle.
Yes, we are.
Marilyn, what's your win?
Hi. Well, I attempted Canva and the brochure. I decided that I would need to make an appointment with you, Leah, for help because I'm just not able to do it, but I gave it another shot.
Good job. Good job. Amy, do you have anything you want to share? Not sure if you can go on audio. Oh, great. Perfect.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm multitasking.
No worries.
But yeah, one of the I just found out one of the 4 dogs I rescued off the street last week got adopted this morning.
Yay.
Very good. Yay.
We love that. We
Yeah.
love hearing that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm really proud of her. Yeah,
Right.
because if she had gone to the shelter, she probably would have been there for a year. So
Yeah.
try to
that
keep them out of the
happens. Well,
shelter
that's
system.
very exciting. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Gabby, what is your win?
Where is it? There it is. Hi.
Hi.
I always volunteer with horses, and there's always Bob is always around. He's outside the corral, and he has a ram, big horns, and all that. And he always watches. But this Monday, he decided, oh my God, I get a little closer, and he was like arm length away, and then he went down onto his knees, and then you could really like, oh my God, what am I doing? No, I should be on all fours. So he was on fours again, but this close to me and stayed there the whole time. So that was really a win.
I love that so much. I can't wait to hear more about that. Thank you so much, Gabby. Diane, welcome.
Thank you. Hello, how are you?
Good. And so what is your win?
Well, I guess if I had never thought about it that way, but I would say my win is this class that I'm taking. Yeah,
So
I'm excited about it.
Diane won the Animal Reiki for Reiki practitioners class at the conference that we just did. So congratulations and thank you so much. I'm so glad you're doing this.
Yeah, and I'm excited about it because, I retired from working from the city and I always did Reiki and I always did a lot of different things. I'm a real estate and all kinds of stuff, but I retired and I kind of am doing nothing. And I'm looking for something to do. And all of a sudden working with animals is something that I feel I would love to do.
Well, you're in the right place. You're going to get lots of great information from all of these beautiful women and lots of support. And we're all at different phases, but we all have this one thing in common, that we all love animals. And like when you hear Gabby's story about the ram and about the horses, because I would love for Gabby to share more about that. That we'll talk about that. And in fact, Gabby, you're going to be perfect for today's topic, which how long should a session be? So be prepared. We want to definitely call on you. So thank you so much, Diane, for being here. Charisse, last but never least. Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, I'm so sorry I missed last week, but
no worries.
So my win is that I started the animal hospice for practitioners course. And I had known nothing about them until I went to the conference that you put on. So this is all really exciting and serendipitous.
Oh, I love that so much. So grateful, so grateful. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. And we love to do these wins because it helps set the meeting on a really positive note. We all feel supported. And remember, this is a super safe place for all of us to meet, talk, share ideas, share frustrations, and learn more. And because all of us learn, I learn, Jamie learns, no matter how much experience you have, you're always learning. So thank you all so much for being here. So Jamie, do you want to start today's topic off?
Well, today we were going to talk about a question that Leah and I both get asked a lot, and maybe you guys ask it too, or get asked this question: how long should a session be? And that is a great question. And, the answer, there are some guidelines, but remember, it's guidelines, right? There's nothing set in stone about this. And this is going to require you to kind of really check in with yourself. Okay, we can give you some guidelines, what Leah and I do, but you need to be checking in, because the most important thing isn't the length of time. It's your intention, and are you in the flow? I mean, if you sit there for an hour and your mind is wandering and you're not really in the flow, you're not connecting with that animal, that is not going to be as powerful or as beneficial to the animal as 5 minutes where you are totally tuned in. So that's just something to keep in mind as we talk about this today. The general guideline, I think that Leah and I both have for distance session, 30 minutes is a good time to shoot for. When I am in a client's home, which I don't do much of anymore, but I used to tell them an hour, and I wasn't sitting in meditation the whole time. I would go in and I would just, especially if I didn't know the animal, it's like to let them get used to you. You've just come into their home. So that's kind of an exciting thing for most animals, because usually it's dogs, right? And so they've got to have time to kind of get to sniff you up and get used to you and settle into the fact that you're in your home. And I would talk to the owners, not about the animal's problems, but just like, oh, who is this? How long have you guys been together? How'd you meet? What kind of stuff do you like to do? And just make conversation, with the owner while the animal was getting used to me. And then I would sit in meditation for about 45 minutes. Because usually it took 15 minutes for me to 10 to 15 minutes when I first came for the animal to warm up. Anywhere from 45 at the most, I would say 35 to 45 in the session. And then I would spend a little time afterwards, just kind of allowing the animal to sleep, or sometimes they'd come up and would want attention. And so you just have to kind of keep that in mind. Is it a distant session? Are you in home? But I still think the most important thing to remember is your intention, and are you in the flow? Are you making that connection? Because otherwise, if you aren't, you can sit there all day and it's not going to be as effective.
Absolutely. I think that when you're first starting out, it's very hard to be in the flow. We have to acknowledge that. That when you're very first starting out, I remember it was so hard for me. I've talked about this. I mean, I'm not diagnosed ADD, but my mind goes 1,000 miles an hour. So it's very hard for me to go, okay, let everything go and sit quietly in this space. So what would work for me, which you're learning in lesson 1, Diane, is basically all is well, right? Just keeping that mantra, all is well, and doing it as on a repeat and just bringing that energy of all really is well. Doing the precepts, letting go of your anger, letting go of your worry, right? We're worried, is the animal going to connect with us? We're worried, are the people going to see something? We're worried about, oh gosh, does this look weird? All these worries come in and we have to acknowledge that, and when we go to do a session, even distant, we go through the worry of, are they going to connect? How do I know if they're connecting? It doesn't feel like they're connecting. We've always got this worry, but if we can let that go and trust that our energy is so strong, and we've talked about this, we don't feel our energy. We have like earmuffs when it comes to energy, but animals feel our energy intensely. So the minute we think about them, the minute we sit with them, they feel us. They may not be responding in the way we think they should, but they feel us. So if we can just really focus on ourselves, focus on our breath, focus on going inward, focusing on that mantra, then everything starts to shift. And it takes animals, especially, if it's a brand new meeting, you have to set the people up and say, look, the first meeting, they may only settle down for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I mean, ideally they'll sit down for maybe 15, 20, but they may not because they don't know me. And that's why we always suggest, if it's a new client, new dog, see if the person is open to a chair treatment. So we teach chair treatment where it just focuses on up here, right? You can put hands on shoulders and put your hands up here on top of the head to help the person calm down. Because once the person calms down, the animal will calm down. And the animal goes, oh, okay, the person's accepting, the person is trusting, I can trust, I can accept. So that's another thing you can do. But if the person is like, no, I don't really want to do that, then you have to go to your own resources, right? And so do your breathing, do your focus on you, and let go of anything with that animal. Even when you're doing distance, let go. Just set your intention. I'm here to connect with you. If you're open to receiving, great. If not, it's totally up to you. Because the minute you give them that permission is the minute they will connect. The minute you say, this is completely up to you, is the minute they go, oh, she's not asking. And they might test you, right? They might go in and out. You might feel ebb and flow. That's okay. Doesn't matter. You're just there for the 30 minutes. But saying all this, you're doing a formal session, 30 minutes. But let's say you're going to the zoo or you're going somewhere and you just want to connect, right? You just want to take that moment to connect. That's a beautiful exchange too. Just by sitting there and saying, I see you, I love you, thank you, right? Just kind of like, almost like Ho'oponopono. It's just like, I see you, you're important. Thank you, I love you. I'm so grateful for this connection. That means something. It means more to an animal to hear that than it does to a person, right? Because if we say that to another person, what's their first thought? Oh, you say that to everybody, right? We have all our insecurities start to come up, but animals don't have that. They trust us, right? Oh, that's a beautiful feeling. Oh, wow. And we've taught this, you go into zoos and you set your intention that you're there in the space of gratitude for all the animals. And when we do that, the animals connect with you deeply. And I've done this so many different times with animals in zoos that it's amazing the connections that you'll get just by opening your heart and your mind to that connection. You don't have to sit there and do a long formal session, but when you can just open your mind to that and open your heart to those connections, that's different, right? And as you go through, you're building on it, right? You think, oh, I'm just connecting to this animal. I'm just connecting to this animal. But no, they're all connected and we are all connected. It's quantum physics. So when you're doing that, it's building on it. And so by the time you get to the end of the zoo, you're going to be shocked at the animals that are just like, boom, right there with you because they feel you. When I went to Keepers of the Wild in Arizona, I've worked with the animals at the wild animals at CARE for 12, 13 years. And when I went to Keepers of the Wild right before COVID, it was so interesting how the animals were so open. And I felt like the animals at Care had actually like connected and said, you know, because I connected with the animals, so did Kelly before we came. But it was weird how connected they were to us when we got there. And that's all just because, you know, when we're thinking about these animals, when we're setting our intention, there is a deep connection. So even if you only have 5 minutes, make that connection. Even if you only have 2 minutes, make that connection, because it is really powerful. And one other thing, I'll turn it back over to you, Jamie. One other thing I wanted to share was when Jamie was talking about, like, you know, when you're doing a session for someone, or let's say you're in the shelter, right? And you're going to do 30 minutes. What I have found is really interesting is that after the session, the animal may not even be that calm. But when you keep that really calm space with you and you start talking to, let's say, another volunteer, and you're just talking very low, or you're talking to the parent, right? And you're talking very low, and you're keeping everything really calm, the animal then will go into a deep relaxation. It's because you've let go of all, like, I'm focused on you, I'm focused, you know, right? And now you're focused on the person, but your energy is still there. Your energy is still really large. And so the animal will then go, oh, okay. No longer is she focused on me. Because even if we think, oh, I'm not focusing, we're still, what are you doing? What are you doing? Right? We still have that little bit of, but we let go completely when we talk to another person, or we're talking to the parent. And always remember, don't talk about negative things, only talk about positive things, because the animals feel it deeply. And we've talked about that before in other calls. But so know that this energy that you've created, you can continue it, and the animal can continue to relax in it, even when you're talking to people. Just keep yourself in that really calm environment. And I don't know, Jamie, if you want to share your experience with that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you brought up, Leah, that, you know, it's different in different situations. And you don't have to be in formal meditation all the time. I know we think that, especially in the beginning, because we're learning, and that's great, because then we're in our conscious mind and we're learning something. So the mindset programs, you know, tell us that when we learn something new, we are in our conscious mind, because we have to think about it, right? So we're like, okay, you know, remembering the meditation, or what are we supposed to do? And, you know, so we are in our conscious mind learning that. Where we're the most effective is when we're in our subconscious. So how do we get there? By lots and lots and lots and lots of practice. And it will make it so easy for us to slip into that subconscious mind, where it's like when you drive a car, right? And we've all been there, where we're driving along and we're going to work or wherever we're going. We've been there 100 times, and all of a sudden we're there. And it's like, I don't remember those 6 lights that I went through. And because we were in our subconscious, and our subconscious is capable of doing more than one thing at a time. So our Reiki practice kind of becomes that. It goes into our subconscious. It becomes who we are, right? So we're always in a state of offering Reiki. And, you know, I went and got a facial, and I hadn't been there for over a year, and I had I pet sat this little pug for her at least almost 2 years ago. And that's the only time I had met this little pug, and she was in the office. And so I'm down like, oh, Stella, look at you. You were hiding in a closet last time I saw you, and now you're at the office. What a big girl. And she came up, and it's like she immediately recognized me, and she was asking for hugs, and she laid up in between my legs on the table the whole time while I got the facial. And so I wasn't doing Reiki, but I was relaxing, I was enjoying it, but I guarantee you, she was picking up that energy and feeling it as well. And so I think it's just something for us to keep in mind, not to beat ourselves up too much, because I think a lot of us do that. If we're trying to sit in meditation, we're trying to connect, and it's like our mind wanders. That's what minds do, really, they wander. What we can control is our focus. And so we learn to control our focus. It's not easy, because there's so many things out here that take our focus, so we have to learn to control our focus, and we do that through practice. But wherever we are, when we're in the presence of an animal, they will sense our energy. We don't have to be like in a formal meditation. If we're in a bad mood, they're going to know it, and they're probably going to stay away. If we're feeling peaceful and calm and, just joyful, and we're there with them, they're going to pick up on that too.
Absolutely. And I'll give you guys a super easy hack, because I love hacks, because that's just how I operate. And if you want to be able to go into this space so easy, because this is what I had to do, right? Because me, blah, 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 blah. What I would do is I found some really good Reiki music. And I think the one I used back when I very first started learning was Marina Ray. And it was Marina Ray. She's really good. And it's really funny. My ex-husband had a joke, because I would play it sometimes out loud, and there's like little "Ka, ka" in it. So if he would see me in meditation, he'd walk by and go, but it would get me in that space immediately, right? So I would listen to my music anytime, if I was at the shelter with a client, whatever that was, because it would get me into that space. So you find a song, play some meditation music, find one that you really feel in your heart, that you go, oh, I can relax, right? And you play that every single time, and it will help you time and time again, so that pretty soon, even after just a couple weeks, even when you're listening to it, you don't have to be in Reiki, even when you just want to relax, right? You just want to bring yourself to a relaxed state. Do that, so that by the time, like in a month or so, you will put that on, and boom, you will be in that space. It will happen so quickly for you. You won't have to like, okay, I've got to do this, because I couldn't do that. My brain would just go, I needed something to hold on to. I needed music was really, so try that hack, because for me, and to this day, I hear this music, boom. Now I have different songs now, but I hear it and boom, I go in. So I think, Mary Lynn, you had something you wanted to say?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, Max, my dog came in. He's
Oh,
right.
okay. So I want to welcome Mel and say hello to Mel. And then does anyone have any questions? Because you can raise your hand or raise your little emoji hand. Hey, Mel, did you have something you want to add?
Actually, yeah. So I did, I worked with a client, which was a friend of my mom's. And it was a little bit hard because she had all these distractions. Her dog had, he had something wrong with his leg. So when I got there, she was she actually used to go to a Reiki practitioner herself. So she really believes in all that. But with her sitting in the room, the dog couldn't relax because she had expectations. And being an empath, I also pick up on people's energies. So it took me a long time to relax into my meditative state, because I could feel her staring at me. So it was pretty hard to do that. I connected with, his name is Oliver, the dog. We did have a good session, and I picked up on him like saying like he just, he had to go to the bathroom, and I was like, I think he has to go. And she's like, no, he just went. And I was like, you sure? And then she brought him outside. She's like, you were right. He did. So he mentioned that to me in like energetically. But I connected with him distantly. I did a distance session with him to introduce myself, so he would know my voice, and he would get the energy from me at 2 days before, and then the night before I went to see him as well. And I connected with him on a distant level so much better. I actually could see. It was funny. It's kind of like as if I had as if I was doing a FaceTime with him. I could see his face like coming at me as if I was the camera, or my picture was on a screen. It was just amazing. And I could connect with him really well. And when I met him, he really like, he recognized me right away. So it was really great, but it is much easier to connect, especially for me. I mean, this is just in my opinion, with them on a distant level than it is when the owner has the expectations and is sitting in the room with us. Even though I asked her to join in on that meditation, just for us to be in the same space, and but she's like, maybe next time we'll just have you do it by yourself with him. And I was like, I agree. I think this will be a good, you're just in the other room and it'll just be good. And so we had a good understanding, but it's just that expectation. I could feel it from her. And I know the dog was a little bit, looking at her. And even though I wasn't trying to open my eyes as much, because I get into the space better if I do have my eyes closed, then I can. But it's so it's true. It's anyways. Sorry.
No, I like that a lot, what you're saying, because that is going to come up, and I'm glad you brought that up. It is going to come up where the person may not be as open to it or may not be relaxed because they're nervous too, like they don't know what to expect. But I like how, closing our eyes is good because we're closing out distractions, right? So you can just say to the person, I'm going to close my eyes because it's closing out distractions. That's really what happens when we close our eyes. We're like really helping our bodies to go deeper into that space. So there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're safe. Now, we have other considerations if you're out with horses or something, but if you're just with a dog or a cat and it's safe,
Right.
Close your eyes. You can do that because you are closing out like what's happening out here and you're able to focus more clearly. And then also I think that, when we don't want to do animal communication, which is not what you were doing because you weren't having a conversation, you felt the dog wanted to go outside and go pee. And a lot of times you will pick up on that, you'll feel that discomfort or you'll feel something. And it's okay to say, I like how you were his advocate and you said, yeah, could we just at least try, and then she thought, oh, he did want to go out. So then that kind of also validates a little bit what you're doing. But again, it's not animal communication. It's just sometimes you'll get that feeling, or sometimes you'll get the feeling that maybe they just want some freedom. They just want to come and go. And that's okay to say something. But that's really nice though, that she kind of picked up on it too, that he would be more relaxed.
Yes.
After. And I also loved what you said about connecting the night before. So I did that with Keepers of the Wild animals. I'm not even going to go meet. And they were just so much more open. And I know that, I don't know if you do that, but I do that as well with a new animal. I do connect. I don't know, Jamie, if you do that.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I just love that, just to kind of introduce yourself and try to connect. So they seem to recognize you right away.
Yeah, definitely. So I would love for Gabby to share a little bit, since she just did a session with the horses and with the Rand. And Gabby, because some people are new to this, why don't you just tell us all like just what a typical treatment when you go out to do these horses looks like?
Well, with the horses, I volunteer, so I give myself an hour. And I just noticed we had so much rain here in Santa Barbara, and so they were in their stalls for a long time. And this Monday was the first time there are 16 horses, and there were 11 outside. And so that was really, really nice to see them up a little closer. I'm always outside the fence, and it's always truly amazing that even the ones who are further away totally react to it. And I noticed, because we were not so much in contact for the last 4 weeks, that they still took it in, that they were still like doing that and licking their lips and sticking their tongue out. But the normal always one horse or the other will fall down and roll around and really get totally into it. That didn't happen. That happened this time with Ram. He went down to his knees. And yeah, so I give myself an hour, and sometimes I need the whole hour, and sometimes I really feel after 45 minutes, I'm done basically. They are fine. They want to eat then or pee or whatever they have to do. There's a lot of peeing going on, and yeah, discharging and then drinking and all that. And maybe I also talk about birds, because I went to a sanctuary for a long time. There is an Amazon, and there was a Moluccan cockatoo. And she actually belonged to my friend, but my friend would have her there like half of the week because my friend is older and it was just too much energy for her. And the Moluccan cockatoo, Dolly, she is now over the rainbow. She would love Reiki so much, and she was such a dolly. So she would be outside of her cage and basically turn around like she was on a lazy Susan, not knowing that the energy goes everywhere. She wanted to have it like from all sides, and she would not stop. So that was up to me then to say, so that's enough. I have to keep going. And the Amazon in the sanctuary, Kona, would go down in her cage, be down there, and then start to sigh. Talk a little bit, sigh again, releasing whatever happened to her in all these years. And I could have been there 3 hours. So normally I would also kind of leave after half an hour, 45 minutes or so, kind of go by the day. And when I do a session which is paid for, then I do what Jamie said earlier also. I go 15 minutes earlier and meet them and just have a chit chat with the client. And so the animal can pick up on it. And then I set my iPhone for half an hour and we get into it. And then I stay afterwards and we just talk a little bit again. So that I thank the animal and then we just talk a little bit and then I leave. And when I come back the next time, that might be just 2-3 minutes because generally the animal already remembers me and can get back into it more quickly. Oh, and what I wanted to say about the horses also, I typically regularly go every week. And I noticed when the weather is nice also, they can sense me already coming, walking from far away. It's really amazing. And they start already to relax. So that didn't happen this time because there was all this distraction with the weather, but normally they can sense me when I walk along already and start to relax.
I love that because that means, they're looking forward to you. They look forward to that. And I like how you said, because it is true. Sometimes you can't, you can feel the animal just will keep you there forever. And you got to go, okay, I've got to stop. But you can still just keep that in your heart, right? You can still keep that connection. I might be stopping, but I love you and I will be back or whatever that is. But I love it that you have to, because sometimes you do, especially with older animals. A lot of times they will just soak it in. One funny thing about the birds at CARE, where I'm going to go, when I was teaching a class there last year, the cockatoos were making fun of me. So we were talking and then we laughed and then they go, nah. It's like they were making fun of the whole teaching that I was like, and so blah, blah, blah. And then the students would laugh. And oh my God, it was the funniest thing. But, we would do the sessions there and they were getting lots of Reiki. So who knows? It was just, the birds are funny. So if you have a chance to work with birds, work with birds.
It's really great. I mean, the Amazon Kona, she can sing all these songs and it's really amazing. And now that she's getting older, she also can count down 5, 4, 3, 1 and make a sound and all that stuff. And then she lets out one number because she's getting a little older. So that's really funny. But the moment I talk to her first and we sing together opera and all that. But the moment I start Reiki, she goes down on the bottom of her cage and she just like, and just sighs. So every animal is different.
Yeah. And that's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Always being aware of that.
I think when a person has good energy, the animal will remember just like that. Doesn't matter how much time there is in between.
Absolutely, like what Jamie experienced with the pug too.
Totally.
So thank you so much, Gabby.
Yeah,
I really
sure.
appreciate you
My
sharing
pleasure.
that.
Thank you.
And so does anyone else want to share or have a question? Just raise your hand or. Oh, though Mel gave you a clap. Yay. Way to use those emojis. So no one has to come on. You can ask anything. You can share anything.
Yep. Mel's got her hand up again.
Well, I want somebody else. Just one sec, Mel. If nobody else is yet, I'd love to see somebody else come in. All right, Wilma. Yes.
Okay.
And then Mel will get to you.
Okay, I just want to know, we don't have sanctuaries or zoos here in Newfoundland. We have rescues, but they're not near to where I am. How would I go about doing something like this? Like I've been watching a lot of videos and stuff for down in the States, and there's more sanctuaries, there's more rescues that are in the same vicinity of each person. Whereas here in Newfoundland, there's nothing.
So what do they do for animals that are in distress or that are homeless?
They have rescues. They put up posts for fosters. My husband's daughter manages the SPCA in St. John's. That's another story for another day, but she doesn't want to have anything to do with Reiki. I've already offered. But I mean, now with this method, I might be able to approach her on a different level.
Yeah.
But for the rescues, they don't seem to, or they have their own. And we also have a dog whisperer, apparently a dog whisperer that has his own Reiki people. The vets here in Newfoundland have no clue what Reiki is. I've approached them as well. So I just,
Well,
my question.
Wilma, I just wanted to say, I had a student who also lived where you're at. And she was going to come to Vegas because she's never been around the kind of animals that are down here, but she was a dog trainer. So she worked with the dogs that would come in. And I know you're a groomer. Is it possible that you could set up a way, you know, maybe after the groom, before they're going to be picked up, that you just sit and practice with them for 5-10 minutes? That might be an option for you.
Yeah, I can do that. Sometimes I do that, like when they first come in.
Yeah.
If they're not used to me, like I'll sit on the floor and I just, you know, let them do their thing, and then they get relaxed. And then if I see, like I said, if I have issues on the table, I just whisper in their ear that all is well, and they just calm right down. But yeah,
she had the same problem. And so she worked with the dogs that would come into her doggy daycare. And so since you have the grooming, that might be an option for you.
Is she in St. John's?
Newfoundland. Yeah, I think she is. I'll try to connect you two.
That'd be awesome, because when I looked up for the Animal Reiki, the animals lead method, there's nobody here in Newfoundland.
I can't remember the name of her company, but I will connect you guys.
Please and thank you, because if she's in my region, I mean, maybe we can get together. She can give me tips, and like, especially for the rescues, like, you know, like maybe we can go together and
absolutely,
you know, work together.
And we're also, Wilma, through Sarah, we're going to be working on a presentation packet to give to vets, to shelters, that's more like a brochure. Like we have our little brochure, but we want to do something a little more dynamic that tells exactly who we are, what we do, and why we do it, and how we do it, right? And what the benefits are. And because what we're doing, you know, with this whole method, whether you're part of Sarah or not, with this whole method, it's really about supporting the animal's emotional needs, something that's not really being addressed. You know, they have food, water, shelter, you know, behavior modification, right? All these things, but their emotional state isn't necessarily being addressed or being supported. And that's really what we do. That's what we're here to do. We're not here to heal. We're here to create a space where healing can occur for the animal, however that looks. So what we're here to do is just create that beautiful supportive space through meditation, like what we've talked about, like what Gabby's doing. Gabby's not there to heal these horses, because when we go in and we say, okay, I'm the healer, you're broken, you need to be fixed, that changes the whole dynamic between us and the animal. We're looking at the animal from, we're up here, they're down there, I've got to fix you. Instead, it's, I'm joining you in this beautiful space. I'm just going to join you in this beautiful space of meditation. And now they feel supported, they feel safe, they feel loved, they feel seen. Now they can let go and actually heal. So yeah, I think that that's going to be coming in the next couple months. We have some people that are helping to work on that. If anybody here wants to help work on it, we're open to that as well. So just let me know. but yeah, we will have something for you.
Okay, because some of the rescues now, they're bringing in dogs from Saskatchewan, Manitoba that have been abused. They're anyway, apparently they're being corralled somewhere out west, and some of them are being euthanized. And there's 2 rescue groups that look for donations for flights and everything to bring these dogs back from these places. And like my husband's daughter with the SPCA, they have a lot of dogs coming in from Goose Bay, like Huskies, that all they've known is working with the sleighs, and they're not inside dogs, so they need to be.
I mean, it's if you look at it like this, you know, there's so many animals suffering. There's so many. There is no shortage of suffering animals, which Kathleen used to always say. You know, it's like when there's this competition about animal Reiki, there is literally no shortage of suffering animals. So we can all have something. So we just look at the little bit we can do right now, right? You just look at where your light can make the most impact in your little world. And then you start to slowly go out and out and out. That's how Sarah started, right? We started really small. Now we're getting really big. But, you know, you can't look at this overwhelming picture. You have to just remember, you know, just shine your light. And wherever your light is shined, it's improved, right? So don't take on the world because it's overwhelming and too much. Just stay small. So like Jamie's advice is perfect. Focus on that grooming, because your light will start to affect the dog, starts to affect the people, and it goes out and out and out. And the people don't even know why they're feeling better or why they love taking their dog to you, but they know that there's a difference, right? They won't be able to verbalize it and say, oh my God, she does this great Reiki thing. I mean, I was at the Silicon Humane Society for years. They would call it Reiki, and they still wouldn't, they would just say, oh, the dogs are really calm around you. Could you go in with this dog? Could you do this? You know, but they would never admit that, oh yeah, she's doing Reiki and it's great and blah, blah, blah. It was just, I created a calm space and they really liked that. So, and yes, Sharice, I will connect with you too. So thank you so much for that. So Mel, sorry about that. And then Mary Lynn.
Mary Lynn had one too, so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just, so I started this new thing with my animals. It'll be real quick. I started this new thing with my animals. Every night I've been doing distant Reiki with all 3 of them at the same time. It's been such a huge success with them, because I literally just get into the space. I also send it to myself. So, but I send them distant Reiki while they're wherever in my place. And for the last few nights, they're all collectively sitting on my bed together.
Oh.
It is such an amazing thing. It gives me the chills just to even like think of it, because my girl cat, since I've moved to this new place, has not been sleeping on my bed.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing, Mel.
And they've all 3 of them they're just lounging and sleeping on my bed, and then she sleeps with it. And I've missed that so much, because she is a cuddler, and she has not been doing it. And I don't know why, but since I've been sending them the distant Reiki, all 3 and it's just 10 minutes, and it is so wonderful. I just ask Reiki to go to each one of them specifically to their own needs. And it works so great, and I'm just so excited. I'm gonna keep doing it, because there's some whatever is working, and however it's affecting each of them separately, they're coming together, and it is so awesome to see that they're coming together as all 3 of them being, you know, closer by just doing this every night. It's just been so, I just wanted to share that, because like it was just such a great experience so far, and I'm gonna keep doing it because it makes me feel well, because I'm sending it to myself as well. But it's just the difference that I can see by them connecting again is just huge.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mel, because that is a really wonderful reminder to all of us to share Reiki every day with our animals. I know, Laura, I don't know if you want to go unmute. I'd love to know who's joining you, because we've got the cat and then we have the dog, and it's always nice
I have
say
like,
hi.
okay, I'll show you. I have Bronco next to, if you can see him, Bronco.
Oh, yeah.
I have Robin on my lap, and then I have Jaguar over here. And
Oh my
then,
goodness.
Rosie is on the floor, and then two cats just walked through. I had Callie walk across the back, and then Simon was in front of me. So, and Rosie was barking at them. So that was kind of like my little thing going on here.
I love that so much. Thank you for sharing. It's so cute to see them. Oh my God. And they're all around you, you know, as we talk about this. I love that so much. Supporting this beautiful thing that we're doing and the space we're creating. So Mary Lynn, Amy, did you have something to say? Oh no.
Yeah. No, sorry about that.
Okay, no problem. Okay. So Mary Lynn.
Okay, well, your emotional discussion, Leah, was a great introduction to the emotional needs of animals, because yesterday I was at the animal shelter that I volunteer at weekly, and two experiences. I was going into one of the rooms, and there were 3 cats. And I was told that to please keep one of the cats in his home because he's quite angry today. So I said, okay. So I go in, and you know, and you can't get near the cage. Okay. So I go in and I introduce myself to everybody and do my spiel about what I'm there for, and bringing love, and so, and you know, it's up to you, blah blah, you know, how much you want, take what you want, and so I'm meditating, and when I first walked in, the angry Pepe is his name, the angry cat that day was no eye contact. He was just like not interested. So I got into the meditation, and I do close my eyes, and I peeked out a little bit, and he had turned, and I had to open all the way. He was his green eyes just staring right at me. So I took the opportunity to say to him, I understand that you're feeling angry today. You know, would you like to share? I'm happy to listen. You know, what can the staff here do to make you feel less angry or better? He said, I want a forever home. So I said, of course you do. And everybody here loves you. The staff loves you, and they are doing everything they can to find you a forever home.
So Mary Lynn, I'm going to interrupt here. So what you're doing though is animal communication, and that's a little bit different, right?
Well, I finished the Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then he was staring at me, and the thought just popped, the question just popped in, that what I explained. So
okay, perfect. Because it's really important to distinguish that we're doing Reiki first, and then after the Reiki session, then we can go into the animal communication.
Right. Yes. And then after, so I leave, and I'm in the hallway, and there's a dog room. So this beautiful German Shepherd was in his kennel, and he was situated in such a way that when I stood outside the door, he was on the floor, resting and looking right at me. And he is up, you know, he's ready to be adopted. He can be adopted. So I began, you know, I gave my introduction to Gunner, and got into Reiki, and there were other dogs too. So I just, you know, spread it out, the light. And okay, the Reiki was over and I'm, once again, his eyes are, he looked emotionally, he looked so sad, droopy eyes, so sad, and just I felt it. I really felt like he had lost hope. So I just said, I spoke to him, Gunnar, keep hopeful, please keep hopeful, because everybody here, they love you. They are trying everything they can and every which way to find you just the right mommy and daddy for you. And
so we have to wrap it up, Mary Lynn. So you gotta get to your point real fast.
No, well, the point is that I was emotionally, I connected, but I picked up the emotional pain and the frustration.
Yeah, and it's really important that we acknowledge it, but then replace that with love and positive energy. And just, I like how you said, you're safe, because you can say those truths. You're safe, you're loved, you're important, right? Those are the truths. But thank you so much for that, Mary Lynn. I love that. And keep us posted on Gunnar. And little Pedro. Pepe. Michelle, please share.
Okay, as long as we have time.
Yes, of
Oh, yeah,
course.
we have time.
Lower hand. All right. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
I just want to share that I along these lines, a couple things along these lines, that just the amount of time I see that the amount of time that I'm sitting in Reiki for an animal, it doesn't really matter. I remember hearing Kathleen say not too long ago, try to sit for an hour, and then I was like, oh shoot. But that's probably more about our own practice. But I can let that go when I'm with the animal, because I see it. I see that, oh yes, it's happening. And I am a professional animal communicator, but I always offer Reiki before my communications, and it's always generally my communications are always long distance. And I put it on my website, that I always offer Reiki, but I'm not charging for the Reiki. But when I do animal communication, I always get permission first from the owner. Now, if it's in a shelter, obviously, or wild animal, that's a different story. But I always ask permission. So I'm just putting that out there, since we're talking a little about animal communication. But I don't necessarily ask permission to offer Reiki, because I put it on my website that I do a little Reiki before the session, but also it's a way to connect. It does get them to know me a little bit, besides telepathically communicating. They relax. You can see them relaxing, and I do it from pictures, so I can see them. And so experientially, recently I actually volunteer at some horse rescues in Santa Barbara as well.
How
I have to
funny.
find out where you are, Gabby. And modalities, but I want to say this because of how effective Reiki is for horses that can't do the other methodologies. So I'm a equine somatics practitioner. And so the other day I was teaching like a little workshop with 5 horses doing somatics. The 6th or 4 horses, and the 5th one we let in to be with us, but she kicks and bites. So I don't do the somatics with her. With the somatics, you're inviting them to move. So there's a little bit of touching, involved. So we just let her be free. And because these horses have always had Reiki from the lady that has the rescue, and from us volunteers, takes less time for them to get it, as you mentioned before. Anyway, so we're doing these somatics, let the one that can't be touched free. She came over to me and like walked right towards me, and like I just put out my hand just to say hey, and she came over and was licking my hand.
Oh.
And I know that I mean, it was partially the somatics because it's a good energy and it helps her to relax as well. But it's because she's had so much Reiki that she's able to, I don't know. I find they lick us a lot when we sit in Reiki. I don't know, like we just sit in the arena. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that since everybody else.
Well,
was
I
sharing similar
like
things.
that because, it's true. So a couple things about what you're sharing. I think if we're doing Reiki in the Western way, where we're putting hands on, we're directing energy, we're like beaming something, we have to ask permission of the person. But the way we do it, we're basically just sharing love, right? We're just in that space. We're not expecting anything. We're just sharing love is really what it comes down to. And that permission really is more like what you do. It's like you can take as much or as little as you want. That is the permission. We're not forcing anything. And I think letting that know, because you're not going to ask the person, do you mind if I share love? It's like, of course, it's like we're not doing anything. So I think that, for you, I love what you're doing because you realize the value in that, right? The value in calming yourself, getting yourself centered, sharing this beautiful space. Now, when you do animal communication, like what Mary Lynn was doing too, it's like now there's a more open, easy conversation because they're relaxed, you're relaxed, everybody feels good. So I love that you shared that. And yes, absolutely. Like sometimes with those horses, I've had experiences with horses that bite and you kind of like, okay, we're going to do it here. And one of them, we even he was away in his stall and somehow he got out and he came up and he nudged me. And I was like, oh shit, he's going to bite me. And he didn't, he just nudged me and then he put his little head down. Like, I just want to join in, so they want to be a part of that beautiful energy and support us. So I really appreciate you sharing that, Michelle. Thank you so much. So we are at the end now. Thank you all so much, ladies. We want to do our quick meditation, right, Jamie?
Yeah.
And let's put on some little meditation music to get us into the mood here. Can everybody hear that? Hopefully it's not too loud.
Very
Fine,
nice.
perfect.
Can hear it.
Okay, great. So I don't know if you want me to do it or if you want to do it, Jamie.
You can do it. I did it last week. So
okay. So we're just going to get our bodies nice and straight and relaxed. And we're just going to take in some deep belly breaths, breathing in through our nose, pull that breath deep, deep, deep into your belly. And on the out breath, slowly release your breath out your mouth like you're blowing out a straw. And this is a really gentle out breath. So when we breathe in, we really want to expand our belly and then super expand it. And then slowly breathe out as if we're blowing through a straw through our mouth. Just a couple more breaths like that. And you'll notice when you do this slow breath out your mouth that your whole entire body starts to relax. Your shoulders soften, your jaw loosens, tension in your temples starts to go away. And we'll just go to a normal, gentle breath in through our nose, pulling that breath deep into our belly, igniting the beautiful light of love within our belly. And on the out breath, pushing that light out through our skin and into the space around us. Breathing in, igniting the light within us, deep in our belly, and on the out breath, filling that light, seep out every pore in our body into the space around us. Just keep your breath gentle and slow. Imagining that light, that beautiful healing light within you, growing brighter and brighter and brighter until you are engulfed in it like the sun. You are a beautiful shining light. Your light can be golden or white or purple or green. It could be multicolored. It is your own beautiful light. This light is what animals connect to when they see you. This light is what brings peace to all beings you connect with. You are a beautiful healing light. You are filled with love and joy. And animals connect easily to you and to your light. As you go forward today, bring this beautiful light out. Focus on your heart. Focus on that deep, beautiful light in your belly. Focus on the sensation of love and joy, and share that with everyone. Share it with your environment, with all animals come in contact with you, and with all humans. You are love. You are light. And let us bring our hands into prayer pose, into Gasho, and give thanks to ourselves for being here. Give thanks to all the animals who've joined us. And keep this beautiful sensation with you and share it with everyone you meet throughout your day. Thank you all so much. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Yay! Such a beautiful way to end our time together and to go out in the world and to shine our beautiful light to everyone. Thank you all so much. Mwah. Love you. Thank you, Wilma.
Much.
Dusty loved you. He was rubbing against your face the whole time.
Oh my God, I love that so much. Thank you, Dusty. All right, everyone, have a beautiful day.
Bye, thank
All
you.
right.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Look who joined me.
Oh, sweetie.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us, Giselle. It was good seeing you. And thank you, Michelle. Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.
Yes,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.